Hello and welcome, guys. It's Leon Street back again. And in this video, I'm talking about how to create more income and impact for coaches in July. So you can take your business past 30K, $30,000, pounds, or euros per month. So if you're an established coach, this is for you. And, I'm going to show you and take you through a few key things that you need to be aware of in order to make that happen. Now, if you're watching this, we're at that point in the year where we've just had 6 months. So we're 6 months down and we got another 6 months to go. So, that's going to take us through until the end of December. And I thought it'd be really cool just to kind of pick up some things with you guys and just touch on a few of the key areas, I think, and know that will make a difference because it makes a difference to my business and also to my clients. And if you've got any questions as I'm going through the key points that I'm going to cover today in the agenda, just let me know if you've got any specific questions around how to grow your coaching business, any challenges with messaging, your offers, the best types of traffic or the best ways to get traffic, and, various different things that you need to understand about your business, even your business model. Just let me know in a comment below this video. So we're going to cover a number of things that I've got prepared for you, as I mentioned. So let me just load these on screen. So in the agenda, we're going to look at mindset. We're going to look at skills and training. We're going to look at strategy. We're going to look at messaging and offers. We're going to look at tactics. And mostly with the tactics, I guess we're going to look at some of the, methods to get traffic and so on and so forth. And then we're also going to look at systems. And I guess the key question is, why are we looking at all these areas? Well, depending on where you are in your coaching business and, trying to pass 30K months, you're going to be challenged in either one or a number of these areas. And these are going to be, I guess, the key areas for you to get that breakthrough, for you to get that awareness, because it might even be that you're doing some of these things, but you're not doing them to the level that takes you to 30, 50, or even 100K a month, and you want to get more clarity. And if that's you and you really understand that, right now there's more for you to grow into in terms of your business and for it to, go to that next level, this is what we're going to cover. I'm just going to one comment. Carla, is it worth using lead generation websites? That's a great question, actually. When you say lead generation websites, I'm assuming the kind of websites that you sign up for who say that, they're going to generate leads for you. I'll tell you my philosophy and the way that I work. Every time that I've used lead generation services in the past, it never worked out the way that I needed it to. And ultimately, it never worked out because the leads that were going out, or that the message was going out to, were all cold. There was no relationship built up. There was no value given ahead of time. It was very direct. And as a result, it took a huge effort, meaning it took a lot of people. So you're talking for like every 1,000 people that was contacted, perhaps 2 would express some interest, or even like 10. And that's an expression of interest. It doesn't mean that it's a qualified lead. It doesn't mean that it's a qualified prospect. And it doesn't mean that it's a client, right? And so for me, when it comes to generating leads, some of the strategies that I'm going to talk about today are how you can do that by generating permission, value-driven leads, meaning that people who give them permission, who want to find out more, who actually have an interest in what you do because they see you as the go-to person to help them fix the problem that they have. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. What I would also say to you is that some of these things like lead generation websites, you do need to test for yourself because there are many different services. But like I said, I'd just be cautious, especially if the leads that they're offering you are unqualified, meaning that they don't fit the key requirements that you need to know, perhaps income-based, some other demographics, perhaps about the individual or about the business, what language, size of business in terms of, how many team members or employees do they have. So just be mindful of these factors when you are using lead generation websites. But ultimately, the best thing is to grow and build your own audience, whether that's building your email list, whether that's building your audience on any one of the social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. They're all relevant right now, even for business to business. Over the past year, TikTok has really skyrocketed with advertising on the platform, and the age demographic has also aged up onto TikTok, meaning that there's a lot more 40 to 50, 60-year-olds on there. And so, if that's you and you target B2B and you want to get in front of those people, perhaps it's time to look at that as well, because there's a lot of viable businesses on these different platforms and they're getting leads as well. So always be open to different, platforms. But the key which is what we're going to cover in a moment, is your message. So let's get into the next steps of what I want to share, and then we're going to go into each of these areas in particular. So if you don't know already, I run a live training called More Leads. It's called the More Leads Challenge. And so if you're in a position where you are a coach, business coach, life coach, transformation coach, any type of coach who runs and operates and markets their business online, and you'd like to get more qualified leads, I run this 5-day challenge with my wife, who's also an amazing business owner and marketer. She runs a 7-figure business. And the dates for this training are on the 18th to the 22nd of July. So if you'd like to join us, just go to moreleads.live. So www.moreleads.live, register there, and you'll see that there are 2 ticket options. I'd advise you to get your ticket now. We've got a general ticket and a VIP ticket, and we're going to cover all the key areas that we're going to talk about today and more. So if you really want to accelerate your business, especially this month, we've got this training coming up, but I'm going to get into the content of what I want to talk about today with you. If you've got any more questions about the challenge, just let me know and I'll get to that. So I want to start with this statistic. So if we look at this research survey from FactWorks showing that attracting clients is the #1 most important small business challenge. So it's the most important challenge that small businesses face, attracting clients. And it was a survey done with small businesses, SMEs, in the UK. And I show this because the same is true whether it's in the UK, America, Europe. Attracting clients, attracting customers is the #1 challenge that businesses are facing, and especially coaching businesses as well, right? And for me, this is why I wanted to start this, because like I said, we're in July and we're at that halfway point now. It's 1st of July. We have the opportunity to actually get some amazing results for the rest of the year. But in order to do that, we're going to have to make some changes in our business. And so I'm starting with this statistic so that you guys understand that ultimately we've got to overcome this challenge of attracting customers and attracting the perfect fit customers, not just any customers, you know, the pain in the asses or the D-grade clients or the ones who just want, you know, everything for very little. We want to attract perfect fit clients. So let's get into each of these stages that I want to talk about. So first I want to touch on mindset, because this might not be so obvious, and especially for a lot of people. Maybe you're an established coach. Like for me, I've actually been coaching as a marketing coach for like 7 years. Before that, I had a marketing agency, I had 2 marketing agencies, but I've been in marketing for about 24 years now. And so the point that I want to get to is that quite often we kind of trick ourselves or fool ourselves into thinking that we know everything. And so if we're not where we want to be, i.e. if we haven't achieved the goal yet, whether your goal is to, you know, hit 20, 30, 50, or even 100K a month, that means that there is a gap. And usually it starts with your mindset. And the gap is to recognize that actually there's some things that you've got to learn. There's some things that you've got to unlearn in order to adopt perhaps new methods, new trainings, what are going to take your coaching business to the next level. And I see all so often, and I speak to so many coaches every week, every month. You know, we do, or I offer a number of strategy calls. Actually, we got 2 going for next week. If anybody wants to book in for one of the 2 strategy calls, just comment with the word strategy under this video, and I'll make sure that either me or my team reach out to you so that we can get you booked in. And on the strategy call, I'll help you to understand how you can make July an exceptional month for your coaching business. So getting back to the point that I was talking about, mindset. So when you're in your business, sometimes you kind of, but quite often, you've got your blinkers on. You're so focused on where you're going, but the challenge is you're not going any faster in the direction of where your goals are. So you're very focused. You might be creating a course. You might be putting your offers together. You might be doing Facebook ads. You might be doing some type of traffic or some kind of traffic strategy like organic marketing, that kind of thing. And you're so focused, yet the results aren't coming in. So the point that I want to get to is that with your mindset, you've really got to be open to say, you know what? I'm very clear on where I want to get to, but I'm lacking some knowledge. So your mindset has to change from being a person who is the coach to your clients to the student. Yeah. So you have to be open to say, you know what, I'm willing to learn some new stuff. And I realize there's something about me that needs to adjust. And one of the things about mindset that I often find is that, you know, you have to be open to receive feedback, and you have to be open to say, you know what, there's something that I'm missing because I'm not where I want to be. And therefore, if I can gain that knowledge, or if I can understand from somebody else, perhaps even a coach, just like you guys are coaches right now, that's the thing that's going to accelerate you. And quite often what I find, especially around money, is that, if you want to break through past 30K months and you want to go on to hit 100K months, quite often people have money blocks, and it might sound a bit weird. And if you haven't come across the term, I'll just share with you very briefly. It means that if you've never hit a certain income level, perhaps unconsciously you're blocking yourself from making that happen. Perhaps you undercharge. Maybe you have like an hourly rate of, I've come across people who charge like 50 or 100 pounds or dollars per hour for coaching, instead of creating a coaching program or a package where they're selling it for like $5,000. And, when I'm speaking to people who aren't established, or they are established, but they've been stuck in this kind of hourly rate mentality with their coaching business, it blows their mind when I start telling them of some of my clients who charge 25, 50 or 100,000 for their coaching programs. And so the point that I want to get to is that the first thing with your mindset is you've got to know, and you've got to accept, and you've got to believe within yourself that 30, 50 or 100K per month is possible. There is a but, or there is a however. The however is that we need to put some things in place once you've got that mindset, once you've got it locked in. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I'm speaking from experience here, is that, it's not so easy to see the unconscious blocks that we actually bring into our business, into our world. And so if you're not a life coach already, or even if you are, my advice to you is speak to a life coach, speak to a transformation coach, or even speak to somebody who can help you with, childhood traumas, things that you're not seeing unconsciously. Because as a business owner, there's a lot of pressures on us. It's not like being somebody who's employed 9 to 5. They have different types of pressures. When you're a business owner, there are different things that you've got to be able to cope with, understand, adjust, unlearn, relearn, and take things to that next level. And so my advice to you is get really focused on, having the right mindset. So that's the first thing. So once you believe that you've got the right mindset, I guess the next step is, right, what's my strategy? How am I going to get more of the kind of clients that I really want to attract? And quite often this can be, again, this can be a real place of overwhelm. And I speak to a lot of coaches, as I mentioned, and, figuring out, well, what is the strategy? What is it that I'm going to do? It can be simplified, is the point that I want to get to. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, because there's so much information out there about different types of marketing strategies, the different types of things that you can do. Sometimes it feels like you're just lost. And I speak to and hear from a lot of coaches who they are lost. And what happens is when you get into overwhelm, you can get stuck. You can also find yourself in a place of procrastination, knowing that you've got to make change, but you don't know where to make change, or the thing that you believe that you need to do seems like such a big, ask, that it kind of just keeps you where you are. And you think, you know what, let me just stick to what I'm doing already. But by doing that, you're sticking with the things that aren't actually taking you anywhere further, or dramatically, or even increase the speed or the results that you're getting to take you towards that goal, right? So strategy, what's the simple strategy? Here's my simple strategy analogy. If you're going to create a strategy of how to grow your coaching business, or your consulting business, or your online business, you've got to understand who your clients are. And you've got to understand, and when I say clients, I mean niche, your target audience. You've got to understand exactly what is the problem that they have that you fix. And you have to get very specific. And the reason why I'm saying very specific is quite often, to hit 30 or to hit 100K months, it doesn't take a lot of clients, believe it or not, especially if you're charging like 10 to 20,000, like dollars for your coaching program, whether it's like a 3-month, 6 months or 12-month program. It really doesn't matter. But the point I want to get to is that if you understand exactly the problem that you fix, rather than just the general problem, you get like super focused, meaning you know who it is. So you know the demographics and you know the psychographics. And I'll tell you the difference between the two. So the demographics of who your niche is, your target audience, are all the logical attributes like age, gender, location, the kind of things that they're interested in around the topic that you can help them to fix. So on and so forth. And then you've got the psychographics, and the psychographics are all to do with the psychology of that person, what, you know, how they're feeling about the problem that they have. You know, what keeps them up at night, meaning what fears do they have as a result of that problem being in their life, and what it can manifest or grow into. You know, what are the consequences, type of thing. And once you start to really dive deep into, you know, knowing your niche, at that point, you're starting to get real clarity, because this is where your strategy is born out of. It's the understanding of the market. So your niche, who they are, and what is the exact problem that they have. And all too often I see people who say, yeah, I know my niche, I've got my target audience, you know, and I've created an offer. And the reality is that because they didn't spend time on who and the what, who they are and what the problem is that their niche have, their strategy is weak, it's loose, and you know, they're left scratching their head thinking, well, I'm not sure why my offer's not working, my message is not working, and this is it. So I'm going to give you a real quick tip here, guys. If you really want to make the breakthrough that you're looking for with your strategy, you've got to get to the point where you use empathy, and empathy it's almost like the North Star of your marketing, especially your message and your offers. If you can pull out the empathy of your niche and you can pull it into your messaging, pull it into your offers, and you get real understanding of what, you know, the real benefits are of what you bring to that market, meaning the functional benefits, the dimensionalized benefits, and the emotional benefits, and you wrap these into your offers and you wrap these into your messaging, your strategy becomes so much easier. And for me, it's not about, oh, I'm going to create a strategy and just go onto LinkedIn or go onto Facebook or go onto Instagram and go on TikTok and just put some messaging up. It's understanding at each stage of when you put out a message, you get a lead, you get a prospect, and you get somebody who's booked onto a call with you because they want to buy your program. It's understanding how at each step you change their beliefs. You change their beliefs so that they know that it's possible. They believe in you. They believe that it's possible for them, and then they start believing in themselves to the point where they're ready to commit to make a buying decision with you. And so for me, if you can wrap empathy and understand that your strategy is about changing beliefs, this is where you win, guys. So for me, really pay attention to what your strategy needs to be, meaning who, what, and then the messaging and offers that unfold as a result of that. So let's move on to the next point that I want to talk about in terms of how you grow your business, you know, with more impact and income in July. Skills and training. Well, look, if I've already spoken to you about mindset and knowing that there are things that perhaps you don't know yet, especially if you're headed towards a goal that you have either you haven't achieved ever or you haven't achieved in a while, so meaning you've kind of gone up and then you come back down and you've not really got there, then at some point you got to realize there's a set of skills or training that you're going to need. And sometimes it might be that the skills and training are similar things to what you've done already, or even the exact same things, but you've got to find a way to be able to learn and go deeper on these things. Perhaps your knowledge on the skills and training that you have right now are surface layer. And what I'll say to you, and this is from experience, is that no matter what type of coach you are right now, business coach, life coach, transformation coach, I see a lot of people and a lot of coaches who invest in getting certification, which, you know, it's great. And I'm not a real advocate for either getting certification or not. It's entirely down to the individual. What I do believe in is that you should be upskilling all the time, no matter what you do as a coach, to be a great coach, but to be a great marketer. Yeah. So no matter what type of coach you are, you have to become a great marketer, because your business doesn't grow if you don't know how to sell the story, if you don't know how to sell the offer. And so for me, part of your mindset is to know that actually it doesn't matter what kind of coach you are, because even if you've got a small team, you know, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 people in your team, whether they're VAs or whether they're permanent employees, you've got to understand that there's a certain level of skills that you've got to gain. And I put it in my book. I spoke about it quite extensively, especially the strategy part in chapter 1 in my book, More Leads, More Clients. And I also make reference to a book, Ready, Fire, Aim, because there are different stages in how your business grows. And I'll pull it out for you in a moment and just share with you, because I think it's useful to know, is in the book Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson. He refers to the different stages of businesses, and he talks about infancy. And all I'm going to do is talk about infancy. There is childhood, adolescence, and adulthood, but I'm just going to talk about infancy. And he says, as a business owner under the $1 million mark, you're in infancy, since you don't know what you're doing. And the main problem you have is the fact that you don't know what you're doing. So your main challenge, and this is really cool, and like when I first came across this, it blew my mind back in around 2017, as I was on my growth spurt. He said the main challenge you have is selling, and the opportunity you need is to create and achieving minimum critical numbers. So whether it's your 30K, 50K, 100K a month, the additional skill you need is getting the business going and selling. So for me, like, I made that reference because I think it's so powerful, because in order to sell, you've got to market. And so this is the point that I want to get to. So if you're an amazing coach right now, you could be a career coach, leadership coach, whatever type of coach, marketing and sales has to become your new thing. In addition to what you're passionate about, the lives that you transform, the amazing coaching that you do, the skills you've got to gain is marketing and sales. And it doesn't mean that, this is the only way that you're ever going to grow your business. No, what you've got to do is use that in infancy as you grow your business, whether it is to $1 million or more. And perhaps your goals aren't to do that. Perhaps you want to do, like, I don't know, perhaps a couple of 100,000, like 200,000, 300,000, 500,000. Perhaps that's where you're happiest best. Perhaps you do have bigger goals. But the point is, even getting to that, you're going to have to get to a place where you truly understand marketing and sales. And there's some great things that I want to share with you. I've got a comment here. Please, can I have a free copy of your book, buddy? Tony Saunders. Yes, I can send you a free PDF copy. If you want a copy of the book, just comment under this video, more leads, and then I'll know that you want a free PDF copy of the book. It is on Amazon if you want the printed version, but I can give you access to a free PDF copy. You'll just need to pop your name and email address in on the link that I sent to you. So let me move on with skills and what I want to share with you. So there's a lot of training that I put out for my audience, like you guys who are watching right now, clients, and just people on my email list. And I'm just giving you an example. These are the kind of skills that coaches are commonly coming to me for. And these are free worksheets, free videos, free trainings that I just put out for free. And for some people, it blows their mind. They're like, Leon, you're really offering all of this free. Just like if you want a PDF copy of my book, yes, you can get a free copy of the whole book. It's a PDF, not the printed version. The printed version, you have to pay Amazon like £13, which is around about $17 or whatever. But there's a ton of great stuff that I give away. And I'm going to tell you why I give away in a moment. So here's the thing. So I've got things like how to go from one-on-one to group coaching. I have a worksheet. I have another method that I give away, a cheat sheet called the Weekly Group Clients Method. I've been pushing this and promoting this the past week. There's also like a 20-minute video walkthrough that comes with that, and also the previous one. I've got another one, group coaching, how to create a no-brainer irresistible offer. So if you've never had a coaching program with a high ticket offer, or you want to create a high ticket offer, or you want to move from hourly coaching rates to selling something that's 5, 10, 15, 25, 50, or even 100,000, I have a worksheet that you can actually walk through to create that. And there is a walkthrough video. If you commonly get people reaching out to you, but you never end up with prospects or clients once they're messaging you, meaning that the way you speak to people in your inbox is not really structured and you really don't know how to persuade people with authenticity and integrity, I'll give away something that I call the Confirmed by Chat script. It's a worksheet, and it simply gives you examples and shows you actually how to qualify people in a real friendly way that gets people wanting to answer you and speak to you and actually want to buy from you. I've also got something called the reverse strategy call method. So if ever you do strategy calls or discovery calls, I show you my reverse strategy call method that gets people to join me on a 30-minute strategy call and actually want to buy from me at the end without me selling anything. It's really cool. So the point that I'm getting to is that these are different skills that perhaps you need to learn. I've got probably, I think there's another 6 different worksheets, cheat sheets, or walkthrough videos that I have as well. And I just give them away. And as I said, I'm going to tell you why I give them away. As a coach, you probably know that it doesn't matter what you give your clients. It's what they implement, and the highest level of implementation is what a person gets when the coach helps that person directly, right? So for me, all the stuff that I give it away because people see value in it. People will watch, people will work through the cheat sheets and worksheets that I give away. But the true transformation to help somebody really accelerate, people have to come to me, just like you guys out there, because they're not going to see the nuances. They're not going to see the things that they're blind to because of their unbiased, unconscious filters that they have on things. And so if you really want to take things to the next level, what you've got to do is be prepared to learn new things, to implement skills and training. And I'm sharing these because for me, this is a big part of the culture of how I run my coaching business. It's about giving away the answers, yet people can only really go to that next level once they invest in the coach, right? And you guys understand that. And so for me, this is a big part of how I market my business, because the more I give away, I know I'm going to attract more of the right type of people. And the people who don't end up working with me, they were never going to work with me anyway. So let's move on. What's the next thing? Messaging and offers. So today, if you've just joined me, I'm speaking about the key things that you can do to create more impact and income in July this year, 2022. We've got another 6 months to go. So we've hit the halfway point in 2022. And I just thought, I'd jump on and just share a few gems, a few tips and a few resources that you guys can use. By the way, any of the worksheets that I had on the previous screen, if there's anything that jumped out at you or you want to find out more about some of the worksheets, just put free worksheets as a comment and I'll just come back to you and I can tell you what we have and you can let me know what you're interested in. Just coming back to Tony. Niche within a niche within a niche is the best way to grow your coaching business. Become the best individual within that niche. You know what? The only trouble with niche within a niche within a niche, like at what point do you stop? It's a real interesting one, right, Tony? That's why for me, I just get very clear on the who they are, and we get deep into the demographics, psychographics, and then the what's the problem? And we dig, and then we start to pull out what are the frustrations, what are the fears, what are the wants, what are the aspirations? And then I have another exercise that my clients use called the empathy map. And when you bunch all of that together, that's where we get super focused on who the niche is, because we truly understand who they are. Okay, so messaging and offers. This is the next place that you can win. So whether you're using LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, for me, messaging and offers, this is the key, because one of the most believable forms of marketing is your ability to tell stories. The more stories and more persuasion you can inject into your message, whether it's on video or whether it's on text on screen, the more powerful you become in getting your message across. Yeah. So messaging is the thing that will attract people. So it'll capture their attention and their interest if it's done right. Your offer or your offers. So if you have a coaching program, your offers are going to be the thing that when you put that in front of those people who've already got, you've got their attention, you've got their interest, and you start to share, the offers that you have. So for instance, I've already shared, if you guys want a free copy of my book, that's an example of an offer, right? You get a free PDF copy. It's a #1 Amazon bestseller, by the way, in 4 different English speaking countries. And literally it has my best strategies in there with lots of examples. There's also a PDF workbook if you want to download that when you get the book as well. And so when you fill in the PDF workbook, you actually fill in and create your own strategy. How cool is that, right? So that's an example of an offer, giving it away for free. So the point that I'm getting to is that your messaging and your offers combined are the steps that you need to take in order to get people to take an action with you. And if your offer is compelling enough and you're able to demonstrate value well enough through things like benefits, things like social proof, meaning testimonials or previous customers who've got results from you, if you're able to add risk reversal, like a guarantee, include bonuses, bonuses that have a rationale or plausible reason why, they're added in addition to your core offer. This is how you take coaching program prices from literally $100 an hour to selling them for $5,000, $25,000, or even $100,000 for a coaching program. I know there's a lot of top coaches out there who we've all come across, people like Tony Robbins. I know he has a $1 million coaching program, probably has a higher, more expensive one now because of inflation. But your offers are the key things that you need to have in place. And if you want to find out more about how to create the right types of messaging, I actually give away something called the 6-week content rhythm. And it's my approach to how you create 6 weeks worth of content that gets you leads and gets you prospects and customers every week. And you can actually reuse the 6-week content rhythm for the whole year. So you only ever have to really create 30 pieces of content that keep driving leads into your marketing funnel. Offers. As I mentioned, I have a offer, NBI offer. What do I call it? NBI, a no-brainer irresistible offer worksheet. If you want that as well, let me know. But these are the 2 key areas, guys, that are going to attract people in. Somebody asked the question at the beginning of this live, you know, should they use lead generation websites or lead generation services? My advice to you is that if the lead generation services aren't taking into account your messaging, and they aren't taking into account at what point your offers should be put in front of people, my advice is no, because your messaging is what gets people that, like, it's what seduces them into who you are, into your business, you know, your personal brand, and then the brand of your business. It's what gets them attracted to the point where they're like, you know what, you're the go-to person for me, or you're the person that I'm going to come to when I'm ready to make that decision, or actually you're that person and I'm ready now to buy. And there's this diagram that I have in my book. It's called the customer buying pyramid. I just want to share briefly what that means. The customer buying pyramid was something created by Chet Holmes, and it's well documented in his book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And again, I only reference the best, guys, but there is, and if you do want a copy of the book, remember, you can get it. It's just there where my thumb is on there. And there is a pyramid. I'm just going to share with you. The cool thing about the customer buying pyramid, and this is what I want to get, is that at any point, you'll always have in any market, so you marketing your business right now to your existing audience, there is always going to be 3 to 10% of people who are going to buy now. Yeah. There is a further 30% that are not thinking about buying. So not thinking about it. And there's another 30% that don't think they're interested. The cool thing about that 60% is that they can be persuaded, and you can use education-based marketing to get them to a point where, perhaps you are the person I can buy from. So eventually they could buy from you. And that could be in a time period of anything from like literally 14 days to 18 months. And in any market, there's always 30% of the market that no, they're just not interested, meaning they're not going to buy. So what does that mean for you is that when you are messaging and you're putting your messages out there, and at some point you're going to put your offers in front of people, just know that on average, and based on the research that Chet Holmes, that there's only ever going to be 3 up to 10% of your market that are going to be buying. So this is why it's important that you do continue to grow your audience, and you do continue to have the right messaging to extract that 3 to 10% of your current audience out, so that they become clients rather than just people watching you in your audience. So let's move forward. What I want to talk about next is tactics. Like, what are the best tactics to use on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube? Like, guys, if you want to know what the best tactics are and you're not quite sure, I'd advise you just to find somebody who markets on these different social media platforms. I'd advise you, as a first port of call, once you've got your messaging and your strategy in order, start doing research on YouTube. There's so many people out there who publish lots of great content, lots of great trainings on different platforms. And if you're thinking about like which platform is the right platform for me, like I'd start there. If you're marketing your business on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or TikTok right now, I can probably give you some great advice, because my customers are using the advice that I give them. They're generating leads every week, they're generating prospects, and they're getting clients like weekly. We're talking like clients who are generating 10, 20, 30 plus per month. Yeah. And what I would share with you is that if you're marketing on one channel right now and you're thinking, well, what's the best channel? Just focus on one. That's my advice. If you can get your messaging published, with consistency. So remember, I offered my 6-week content rhythm. It's something that I do have. If you're interested, it just shows you how to consistently put content out on a 6-week cycle that just generates you leads, prospects, and clients. That's something that you should master first, because when you go onto these platforms, it's then just going to be understanding what works on these platforms. So the way that your message or your videos have to then be structured. So meaning, you know, the formats, the sizes, what needs to happen in the specific timeframes that you have on some of these, because some of them have like time limits depending on the length of video. So for instance, when I'm streaming, I don't really have any time limit on LinkedIn as an example, but if I upload a video on LinkedIn, it can't be longer than 10 minutes, whereas I can stream for longer than 10 minutes. You know, and there's different things that you've got to understand. So for instance, on Facebook and LinkedIn, groups are a big thing if you want to generate traffic right now, whereas there aren't any groups on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. And so if you want to find out about a specific channel, or there's just one channel you think, you know, that's where my audience are, because this is the big telltale, you know, you should use the platform where you know that your audience are already. You shouldn't just use a platform just because you're used to using it or you're familiar with using it, because that's not the kind of business owner who's actually going to make money. That's the kind of business owner who's going to hit the glass ceiling and get stuck. And so with you, which is why I said your mindset, you have to be open to saying, you know what, perhaps I'm comfortable on this platform, but I realize and recognize based on research or other things, indicators that tell you that, you know what, your clients are on another channel and you've got to get over there. You've got to understand how to use the platform and just hit the road running. So for me, tactics are all about how can you get your message that you've created and simply published onto these platforms. Start with one if you're not confident, you know, jumping onto all of them. And even then, I would say to you, once you're really confident with one, then I would jump onto the second one. So if you're doing things like Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok and Instagram, choose one and then go on to the second one and repurpose content. Don't create brand new content. Use your same content, because remember, your content is not created for the platform. Your content should be created for your niche, right? Because they're the ones that you're trying to influence and persuade. The tactics that you need to understand are simply what are the formats. That's it. But your message really should be the same. Right, so let's move on from here. Sorry, missed what you said about the free book, buddy, as my internet suddenly went off. That is correct. So Tony, no worries, Tony. I'll follow up with you to make sure that you get the link for the free book. So I'm going to move on from tactics. We're going to look at systems and team. So I guess the next step, you know, if your business is already generating like 15 to 20,000 a month, you know, the obvious thing is that you're going to have a team. You may have VAs, you may have, you know, other contractors from places like Fiverr or Upwork, you know, wherever you're hiring from. And the simple thing for me is, in order to have a team, you've got to have systems. And systems are basically how your business runs. Yeah. If you want to have a business that is truly growing and gives you the lifestyle freedom or the lifestyle choices or create the opportunities that you're looking for, well, the definition of that is a business is a commercial, profitable organization that works without me. So if it's going to work without you, you're going to need systems and you're going to need a team to run those systems. So the simple, I guess, process or flow or diagram I can share with you is, you want traffic, and that's why we're using tactics, you know, these different social media channels or paid advertising as well. You want to be able to add call to actions to your messaging so we can identify who are the leads. You want to be able to qualify or speak to people so you can identify prospects, the people who are going to be in the best position to buy from you. And ultimately, that's going to give you clients, right? And if you're building systems, and again, if you want to create more income and impact, you're going to need to have a really well-oiled marketing machine. So that means you know what traffic sources are generating you leads. You know and have systems that your team can publish to these channels. They understand how to take your messaging and publishing to these channels. That's a system. You'll then understand that your messaging must have call to actions. Again, this is part of your system. This is part of the copywriting system, because then you understand what content needs to have call to actions, what content will get people to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in that thing. And the next step is, how do you qualify it? And so qualifying might be, maybe you've got appointment setters. So for everybody who's taken up your call to actions, your appointment setters can be in your DMs, managing your inbox. I have the same thing. You know, I've got team members who manage my Facebook inbox and also on Messenger and then also on LinkedIn. Same thing. Why? Because I can't manage it all. And if you're really growing your business, you don't want to manage it all. You might be, I guess, from a strategic point of view, supervising. Yeah. But the key is that if you really want to grow a business that can work without you, you've got to build a system that other people can manage. Because what happens, for whatever reason, you can't be there, whether it's a good or bad reason, right? Like, you've got to build these systems. And so I actually give away a worksheet called the Confirmed by Chat DM script. And, you know, if that's something that you're interested in, guys, just put the letters CBC, Charlie Bravo Charlie, below this video, and I'll make sure that we reach out to you to give you a copy of that script. And then finally, you know, once you put these things in place, with systems, you need key performance indicators, because that's the thing that's going to give you an indication as how can you grow your business. So how many leads is your content generating? Which platforms are generating the best leads or even the most leads? Like, these are key performance indicators you've got to keep your eyes on. Leads. So where are your leads generated? How many prospects are you generating? So how many people are you speaking to either on the phone or in your inbox on a weekly basis, or is your team speaking to, you know, from on the phone or in your inbox on a weekly basis? And ultimately, which platforms or traffic sources bring you clients? Which messaging, so which videos and which content brings you clients? Like, and these are all important cues for you to pay attention to, so that you can make July a really amazing month in terms of what you do, or even the next 6 months, you know, the final 6 months of this year. And I guess that's what I really wanted to touch on, guys. If you want to take things to that next level, it's about wrapping these things together that I've shared with you and really going all in. You know, you'll know the difference between you going in and if you're playing it safe. I know some people who have weekends off, but their business is like literally crawling and they're desperate to get clients, but they're not really putting the work in. And so again, you know, this kind of comes back to one of the first points I spoke about, mindset. It's like, what are you creating? Because with anything, and especially in business, there's work. It's almost like, you know, if you use the analogy of going to the gym, well, you can't go to the gym and not push weights and expect your muscles to grow. Or, you know, if it's like jiu-jitsu, which is what I also practice, it's like, I can't go to jiu-jitsu and just observe. I literally have to put the work in. You know, like yesterday when I was at jiu-jitsu, it was like literally my first class of blue belt class, because I've recently just passed my white belt test and graduated. It's like I left the mat sweating and dripping, but I also understand that there's no way I could sit and observe and expect my body to respond or even know the moves. It's because I've got to actually do the work. And so the point that I'm getting to, guys, is that the things that I've mentioned in this video, you've actually got to put these into practice and do the work. So perhaps you want to fast track though. Perhaps you want a faster way to make these things happen in your business. I've got something for you. So I've got a method called the More Leads method. And in the More Leads method, we've got 5 key areas: power positioning secrets, how you position yourself as an authority; overflowing lead sources, which traffic sources are going to bring you clients; hot qualified leads, how to qualify the hottest leads from the platforms that you market your business on; no-brainer irresistible offers, how to create offers, high ticket offers that demonstrate value, show your authenticity, and create transforming results, transformation. And number 5, sliding into sales, how to actually get prospects and clients right from your DMs. If you would like to get access to these kind of results that my clients use from that method, here's Denise, generating £10,100 in 7 days. This is Haroon, £10,000 or $13,000 day in sales. Another client, $15,300, so $21,000 in 1 month. And you want to go to that next level. Me and my wife, who is another amazing marketer, we're running our latest live training called the More Leads Challenge. So we regularly charge like, 5 to 40K to work with us, but this challenge is literally a fraction of the price. And so you can get a ticket. We have a general and a VIP ticket. The general ticket starts from $97. Look, it's not going to break the bank. However, you get to spend 1 hour a day over 5 days. So from the 18th to the 22nd of July, so Monday to Friday, you spend 1 hour with us, or 2 if you choose the VIP ticket. The VIP ticket simply comes with an hour of coaching before the main challenge starts. My advice to you guys is, if you've enjoyed the content and anything has resonated with you today, it could even just be one thing, and you want to fast track your results, jump onto this training. Just go to www.moreleads.live, and when you register there, just get your ticket secure. and that way you get it locked into your calendar and you don't have to worry about getting reminded. The link's on the screen. I've just put it on the bottom of the screen so you can see just there. Moreleads.live. Go there, get yourself a ticket, and I'd love to see you get some amazing results like what I just shared with you from my clients. And like I said, they implement the exact methods that I'm sharing with you. And you'll get all your answers that you're looking for. Trust me. The one thing I'd say to you is that the previous times that we've run this challenge, and you get all these bonuses as well, by the way. So we give you worksheets, some of the things that are for free, but with some little extras just for the challenge. And there's a workbook for each of the days that you'll be with us. So there's a workbook covering each day. And when we deliver the training, we literally take you through the workbook. So it's not like we teach you and then you go away and fill it in. It's like we're talking you through what you need to do so that you can follow along. It's very easy to do, but you're getting the exact strategies from what I've picked up over the past 24 years, and in particular the past 7 years with online marketing. But I've been marketing online, as I said, for like 24 years now. If you got any questions, guys, just let me know in the comments. I'd love to, answer your questions if there's anything you want to know more about, especially with growing your coaching business. On that note, guys, I just want to say, get your ticket. Go to www.moreleads.live. Get yourself a ticket on the More Leads Challenge. The general ticket starts from $97, which is around about £73, or you can go for the VIP. The VIP comes with the coaching, remember, so you get all your questions answered. And I'd love to have you on board. Here's some of my clients, who are really getting some amazing results. Dwayne, 28,000 1 month. This was Matt. He did £100,000 in 4 months. This is Raf. He did 116,000 in sales in 2.5 months. Here's one of my other clients, Nate. He did $768,000 in 3 months and 1 week, which he actually turned into $1.47 million in coaching program sales in 6 months. He was selling a $50,000 and $100,000 coaching program. Here's one of my other clients. We can see this result's a bit old now, but he did here over $1 million in online course sales. I think it's somewhere like $1.3 million or £1 million now. I need to get an updated screenshot. So guys, if you want to get the insights and you want to get some of the knowledge that my clients have privy to and benefit from, jump onto the challenge. So I hope you've enjoyed the video today. If you got any further questions after watching this, whether you watched it live, whether you watched it on the replay, give me a hashtag replay if you watch the replay, and I'll come back to any questions or comments that you have individually and personally and answer them. On that note, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.